How's it going? It's Jonathan. Yes, it's me. Yes, hey, it's Jonathan. Okay, so I'm feeling a little bit better today. Maybe I can do a little bit more talking. I'm feeling a bit bright, a little chirpy, and ada. So I thought we might get back into some of this forecasting hoo-ha. The stars, the moon, all that sort of stuff. That financial astrology. Okay, no, not really. But anyway, I do forecasting. I like to look into the future using very simple methods. I don't read the stars or anything like that. I use the exact same techniques that the big boys use, such as W.D. Gann, Raymond Merriman, all those guys. These guys were onto something, and they wrote about it, they talked about it, they gave us clues, and I just spent the time actually wanting to use that as my edge in the market. So that's what I did. I found out how to, despite the disbelief in this realm, in this topic, I started to learn about forecasting, and I think we had a crack at 2022 with all the forecasts, especially our 2022 cycle tracking tool. So we're going to keep on the theme of Bitcoin, gold, physical gold, not derivatives of gold, etc. When it comes to things like forex, etc. We're talking about currencies. We're not talking about derivatives of currencies. Go to your local forex exchange, etc. In the city, not online. And you might want to purchase. So we're doing like legit things. We're not doing anything too risky under the board. So yeah, we're going to keep it on top of things. Try not to get ourselves sued. Try to just keep it safe. As much as possible. You can lose money. You will lose money. So just try to play it safe. Okay. We don't want anyone to get hurt here. But what I found was that there are ways to look into the future, and I'm not saying like with some sort of crystal ball. I'm just saying like things that happened in the past do and can, or I shouldn't say do, can and may happen in the future. Okay, so that goes down the whole realm of like people who talk about the business cycle, people who talk about the real estate cycle. I just talk about the real estate cycle. I talk about business cycles. I talk about cycles in underlying commodities and cryptocurrencies, stocks, etc. But this same philosophy can be used, in the lives of man, in great nations. This whole realm of forecasting is based on the premise that, events that occurred in the past at specific points in time can and may occur in the future. Okay? It just needs you to understand that, because they can and may happen in the future. And as they say, those who do not study past are deemed to, repeat the mistakes of the past in the future. So that's what I spent my time on. So I don't want to waffle too much on about that. I spent going in about eight years of doing this now. So I came from the this is bullshit. As soon as I started to learn about this, and you've probably heard my story 100 times, I was like, this is bullshit. This doesn't work. You're a hoo-ha. You're talking shit. But when I started to learn more about it, I started to do it myself. Over time, I started to get more confident in it. And we were able to just do this ourselves. So, that's kind of the stuff I talk about, stuff I want to teach you, show you. And, at the end of the day, of course, the aim is that you pay money. No, I'm just kidding. The end of the day is that you can use this so that you can protect yourself and, hopefully grow more prosperous from it, okay? So this is the back end here. We put this out, this is our 2022 cycle tracking tool. So we put this out back in 2021, and it was looking forward into 2022. And this was predominantly for the crypto market, okay? So everyone was calling a top in the crypto market, $100,000, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We didn't really have a firm price point on it because we were running out of time. Go back to the last videos of like last October, last November. These time, series, I should just keep it simple. These cycles were running out of time, and a lot of people were saying, look, Bitcoin's going to get to 200,000, it's going to get to 250,000, maybe $1 million this cycle. There's some people out there that actually said $1 million this cycle. And I just didn't think that was going to happen, mainly because we were running out of time. And what I mean by that is the cycle was coming to an end. So for Bitcoin to actually go that high, we had to have actually a certain amount of time for it to achieve that, or it was going to be impossible. So we were able to then just produce our forecasts and get an understanding of what Bitcoin may look like into the future. So I did publish it in our back end, and you can get access to this for our 2023 forecast. We're publishing those now. Those are available now. So let's go ahead and take a look at our 2022 forecast on Bitcoin. And what you'll see is that the gold line that finishes the year, so the one that finishes down here, is the actual forecast for the year. And the brown line, which is this color here that I'm tracking with the mouse, was the actual data of Bitcoin. Now we did get some inversions in the year. Now I don't talk about the polarity flips right now. I've talked about in the past, but we got an inversion here in the cycle. So boom, boom, the exact diversion in the cycle, or inversion, I should say, not diversion, inversion in the cycle. And then we had a polarity flip or inversion right here. So that's where the market, ran the opposite way to the forecast before catching up and trying to, realign itself to that forecast. So these are the things that can happen. So I've started to produce the 2023 content. For those of you who have already subscribed to our 2023, you should start to see that pop into your student portals very soon. But, I'm not confident on the start of next year at all. I do think that there's more downside to happen, and that's purely based on the cycle of Bitcoin. Go back to last video, I did point out maybe 2 areas that we should be looking at. I do think that the market is set to maybe have like one final blow down, which would be like a capitulation. Now, a lot of people will call in capitulations along the way. I always said, look, wherever you're buying, it's safer than where you could have bought before. Because if you're going to be buying up here, which was near the tops of these cycles, that was definitely unsafe. But once the market moved down, it's going to be safer than what it was before. And as the market moved down, it's going to be safer. There's always the chance that your money goes to zero, okay? So you can't rule out that the cryptocurrency could and may go to zero. That means you have a chance of 100% loss, okay? So that's the maximum it can go, unless you're doing derivatives, etc. But you can lose 100% of your money. But there are periods where they are safer to be buying or speculating than other periods. And that is after these like sharp corrections, okay? Obviously that, after a sharp correction down, that is safer than buying at the top of that, before that sharp correction down. So I do think that there is one more sharp correction down. So if you're buying now, that would be safer than buying before. But I do think that you should possibly wait a little longer if you haven't gotten into the market, or if you're looking to capitalize as much as possible. So don't be one of those guys who thinks they can do it alone with limited skill. You weren't able to call the top yourself, and you're not able to also call the bottom yourself. You do need people who study things that you don't study to be able to help you and guide you. So don't be one of those guys who says, oh, Bitcoin's low, I'll see you in 4 years' time because that's when I'm going to get rich. There are going to be humps and bumps along the way, and who knows? Maybe the cycle inversion occurs where this market actually goes to zero instead of $1 million. Who knows? We need to look into that. That is always a possibility. Now, if you think you're bright enough to figure that out yourself, then by all means, please share it with everyone. But that is something that I could be watching, especially around 2025, when central bank digital currencies become mainstream. 2025, 2026 is the timeline that I have on those. After the next great collapse, I do believe that as a nation, as an economy, as a world, we will progress to central bank digital currencies, and that'll be the next evolution, and it'll be a step away from cash that we're using today. So I said that we got about 4 more years of this world that we live in before CBDCs become mainstream. So you are running out of time, so to speak, on this current world that we live in. But that'll also be the time when cryptocurrencies go mainstream. So it could turn out both ways, where crypto just goes through the moon, everything goes through the moon, and cryptocurrencies are traded like stocks, etc. Because obviously, we will move into that realm where shares are traded on the blockchain, etc. Or CBDCs could annihilate the crypto world, and everything just becomes mainstream, and those that are doing dodgy stuff, etc., like all these pump and dumps, all these meme coins, etc., they're just annihilated from the industry, completely annihilated, and only legitimate projects are traded and bought, etc. So there's a few ways this could go. I got my own thoughts, which I'll share in the future. But this is the market forecast that we had for the year, where the market was just going to be trending down all year based on a very specific pattern. And yeah, we've built it for 2023, so I'm looking forward to you getting into that. Go ahead and possibly find a link below for our 2023 forecasting service. We're covering gold, we're covering cryptocurrencies, we're covering major indexes. That way you can get an idea on the economy. We cover indexes not so that you buy and sell the index, but so you get an understanding of the actual economy and how it's moving. So, are we going to recession? Now, a lot of people are saying recession 2023, recession 2024. Yeah, I have an alternative opinion, and I don't think that's going to happen. So there's my thoughts on that. But let's see how we go, okay? Are we heading into recession in 2023? I say no, mainstream economists say yes. Let's see who's right. I'm happy to be wrong. I would rather play it on the safe side and just say yes like they are. But I don't think that where we are in the longer term cycles, such as that 20-year cycle, that we are going to be heading into recession next year. I think, when it's in the news, it's in the price. I think that major banks and firms have already planned for that. And I think we may just get around it this time. And we may be gearing up for one of the biggest commodity booms, one of the biggest real estate booms, one of the big stock booms that is going to occur next year. That is what I'm planning for. That is what I'm seeing possibly play out. But I could be wrong because there are so many other people against me right now. I could be that lone soldier that just, blows up his whole career getting that completely wrong, or I might get it right. Let's see. We don't know. We'll see what happens next year. Anyway, this is my 2 minutes of fame for this week. Just to remind you that yes, there is possibly another move down, but it looks like it's going to be blue skies ahead very soon. I'll talk to you soon.